Yeah, shoot.
Hey, welcome to another episode. Hey, and today, full house. I've got Sam as Ricardo, Modise, Chisibanda. What's happening,
Yeah,
Bafut?
yeah.
Oh,
Sure,
good.
sure,
How you doing?
Machita.
Away, brothers.
As the Avengers assemble, Sihle is the only one who has no beard, dog. So, Shumban. Like,
Ah, so mina senga chef mfana ex. Uyazi ukuthi
yeah,
bekuyimpilo yami nje but senga chef
yeah.
these days because
Ah,
because sengifuna ukuba no manager nyana esipanini ngithusi.
this is ease of it.
Yeah.
Jesus, dog.
Tusangama beard.
Yeah, dog, but anyway, guys, yeah, last week was a very, very depressing episode. This week, all of a sudden, we all glowing. Of course, the Proteas surprised us. I won't lie, I was surprised. I'm not sure about you guys. Like from last week's episodes, your expectations. Did you guys think we were gonna win this game? I'll start with you, Cheese.
Mina, I'm I don't think I'm going to say I'm happy. Um,
Yeah,
I'm not ecstatic about the
yeah,
result, to be honest. Our batting order still fell very short in that game. If it wasn't for Carl Verena, I know we all tempted to say Varane today, but
yeah,
besides Carl Verena, he was the only standout really in our batting scorecard. So it's not good. It was a great performance. There's still a lot that needs to be sorted out in our batting to get it back to the consistency. And I think our bowlers definitely saved our show. Ukagiso was incredible in the series, and I don't know, maybe some few points before Matata won't come much and up then next.
Oh yeah. What do you say, dog? Are you ecstatic or are you like Sihle?
Look, I mean, I'm in between. I mean, I was very
Yeah,
happy that we won, that we did. We still haven't lost the test against New Zealand, the test series.
Yeah,
First of all, for me, that's a big thing. We have to carry the pride of the country regardless of our first performance. But like I said in the last episode, like we needed one batsman to pull through. And in the first episode, we had, in the first innings, we had Ervie pull through for us with a century. And I said, you need one guy to get a century, and you won the game. We had Ervie, we had Kyle. End of story.
yeah. And then Sam, bro, you seem like you're glowing today, dog.
Yeah, I am going. Um,
Mr. Bavuma,
Yeah,
Captain, my captain.
yeah,
yeah, no, I am glowing. The honest truth is, as per last 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I didn't think that after our first performance we were going to have anything in the second test. So I'll be honest to say I really thought it was a loss. But having seen the game, I wouldn't say I'm too hacked about the performance. Um, yeah, you have to put into context that we are playing away. But what pleases me the most is we played against two of the teams that played in the final of the World Test Championship, and I mean to play away and to come with a result means something, even in any other sport. So yeah, I'm ecstatic about the performance. Obviously, frailties are still there. We can always have a proper discussion about where now, I suppose. But yeah, on the whole, to win by 198 runs, I think it was. It's a huge win.
I know, indeed. We kind of reversed it. I think now, but they won. I know, actually, no, they destroyed us.
Hey, they hammered us, you.
They
It was
hammered us.
silly.
As
Yes.
yeah, they destroyed us. But I mean, I also
You.
have another question, gents. If this, if what again, this series was a three-game series, do you guys think we would have won the series? Because for me personally, I feel like because we didn't have, like, at times we normally play against the B teams of each and every team we play. Like, let's say if we're going to Australia, we will play against Australia A first, just for us to get used to the conditions, God, before we actually play against the main guys. And so for me, I feel like, like do you guys think that we would have had a chance of winning this test? If it was a three match series. Yeah, I'll start
Without
with
a
you.
doubt, brother. Without a
Yeah,
doubt in my mind. And why I say that is because I listened to a couple of interviews after the first series, and I think it was Neil Manthorpe who said on the radio that the first test the guys still needed to climatize, and they didn't have time, for even a practice game, which is unusual. I mean, they
yeah,
were in quarantine for so long. 2 days post being released from quarantine, they had to play these guys. They weren't used to the surface, and KG even said after the second test that the first pitch was even better to play on.
Yeah.
But the problem was climatizing. I mean, it's an 11-hour time difference, Vince. So jet lag, everything. It takes, what did they say? I think 1 hour for every day, or 1 day for every hour, or something like that, for you to become familiar. And you could see in the second test that they had climatized, they were comfortable, they sort of knew what they were doing. So for me, yeah, I think we would have won the series, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cheese winner.
I think very true on cricket or test series in general. The side that normally picks up the last win or picks up the second win normally carries the momentum into the third one, and normally you convert the result and you take the series if it's a three-match series. And I think the guys were incredible in the second series. Not to fool them, not to sort of be very harsh on them, but they were very incredible in the second match. And I think the way they converted, well, I think most people converted their innings. We still had quite a bit of people who were in their 40s who failed to convert that into 50s and sort of lead that into
Makram.
hundreds. Yeah, is our boy Markram, of course.
Yeah.
Um, is it's still a problem. It's still a problem, and they're still keeping him up the order. It's putting too much pressure on him. I think, and he's not getting a score. You know what they say is you get 100 and everything just seems good again. So he just needs to find some runs, and he needs to convert some of these innings because yeah, it's really going to kill his spots in the team. There's many hungry people who are waiting for that spot in
Mm.
Protea setup.
Yeah. And then Sam, you
Yeah,
perhaps
I
have.
mean, if there was a third test, like to be honest, I probably don't know because um, I trust the fact that after winning the second, as everyone has alluded to, we would expect to go into the third with the high percentage of like winning. My only gripe is I don't want us to turn into the cricket team that follows like Dean's character, as they say. Like Dean can consistently get a three or two, but when you almost need him to be scoring runs, Dean scores runs. And I don't want us to turn into the team that gets comfortable with losing the well, the first match or and then no the first test and then coming back and the on the second one. And I don't think it's a healthy thing for the team to like get like used to, because the margin of the loss in the first test was so big that practice or not, you're like an innings and so many runs, so it's a concerning factor for me there. So that's what I'm saying. I'll be neither here or there, but trusting that after winning the second test, yeah, the team will like, yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
still upset at, sorry, and I'm still upset at Dean Elgar for not letting Kyle get his 150.
Yeah,
Oh
you're
yeah,
so close, bro. So
I don't know,
close.
yeah,
but that is,
yeah.
for me, I mean, as a captain, I mean, this guy's on 136. He needs 14 runs. You can declare after 14 runs. End of story. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. And then
Yeah, but
guys, yeah,
you know those permutations about daylight savings and what, and when you're leading in a test match, you don't want those things to hamper you um, to finally win it. Then they'd be like,
no,
ah,
fair enough. But 14 runs, my brother. And the guy was slugging. It's not like he was, he wasn't waiting for six
yeah,
balls
yeah,
and you leaving the
yeah,
balls. He was
yeah,
playing. He was
yeah,
playing. So
yeah.
let him. He was risking the game. He knew that he had it in his bag, in his pocket. So let him do it.
If you
yeah.
remember, if you remember Ashes, England, Australia, where Australia won 4-0, right? The one game that was a draw, Australia declared, and this is the thing about these things. It's like when it doesn't go your way, it's always this was declared a little too late. So I don't know. Like I agree with you. It'll be nice to see someone score 150, but I remember distinctly like listening and like commentators saying I think it was a late. They declared late. Those guys took 9 wickets and were just a single ball away from like winning, right? But it's always if you declare at any point in time and it doesn't go the way you are, expecting it, then it becomes a, I think he declared late, you know.
Mr. Bavuma, we still had another day.
No,
All we
no, I
needed was
know,
14 runs.
I know, I
And
know.
I hear what you're saying, and I remember that game. They criticized Pat Cummins' captaincy. And,
Yeah.
unfortunately, England just came to the party on the day with regards to their batting at the tail end. And they knew they have nothing to lose by just drawing this match. But for me, the last player to score 150 for the Proteas was Faf when he scored 199. So it would have been good for the Proteas and the momentum and, the energy in the dressing room. But yeah.
Yeah. And then, guys, I just also wanted to ask. You guys also mentioned that we have this habit of losing the first test and then coming back. Do you guys think that's the reason why we don't do well in tournaments? We have this reactionary thing. We have to first get our asses knocked out and then come back instead of winning from jump. You know what I mean? Do you think maybe that's the reasons why when we play World Cups, we flop? Start with you, Sam.
Like I don't know why you're asking this question for me because
Yeah,
it pains me to the core because it takes me
yeah,
back to 2015
yeah,
where you've got AB de Villiers leading the team. You've
yeah,
got that cricket team ranked as number one in ODIs for so long. You've got the
yeah,
number one batsman, you've got the number one bowlers, we've got like three batsmen in the top 10. So
yeah.
I listen, I'm too young to answer the question why the Proteas don't do well at tournaments.
Yeah.
Nah, you're not
So
young.
no,
You're
no, no,
not too
guys,
young.
I don't know. I don't know. So I genuinely want to hear different views, and I'm curious because
Yeah,
I've tried to like question like why don't they do well? Because this team, like we had the cream at the time. 2015 is the time that I thought, you know what, now or never, bro, and it
Sam,
just never happened. So I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
Sam,
You,
you're
yeah,
thinking far. This T20 World Cup that passed,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
which team did we lose against? We lost against Australia.
And
Yeah.
that was the
Which team
first
did we
one.
beat? We beat
England.
England, the only team that beat every single team by miles. Miles.
Mm,
Why
mm.
could we not
Oh
beat
no.
Australia? Because it was the first game we were nervous. We were trying to settle. And we're not chasing run rate. I mean, why couldn't we have speeded up? I think it was the Bangladesh game where we could have dominated that run rate and qualified for the semifinals. And had we qualified, Australia wouldn't have qualified.
Mm.
Who knows who could have won?
Yeah. And then, geez,
But yeah, compared to our Proteas are just chokers, man. These guys just have
Why, bro?
this.
Why?
now
Yeah,
why, guys?
I don't
Because
know, man. I don't know
yeah,
because Lawan Lava, like we said, in Vetsy, there's that period where we're the best bowler, the best top three batsmen in top 10.
yeah,
We were coming off some crazy form. I mean,
yeah,
mfethu sihluleke nge-era yabo AB, sihluleke nge-era yabo Klusner, sihluleke nge-era yamanje yabo nto, yabo Mokel nabo Steyn.
yeah.
Mfethu, I mean, we're really this it's like kungangazi ukuthi yisiphi isangoma kumele sisibhadale njengebafana bafana or something. But really, it's an avenue that needs to be thought about because angisazi it's really it's
Okay,
scary.
Nas,
It's scary ukuthi
Temba's
ayilungi
winning the next
situation.
World Cup.
I just,
Temba's winning the next World Cup.
you know,
Watch.
Hey,
I,
are you for
yeah,
yeah,
Uzowina uMakram. Uzothatha uMakram
yeah.
bese
T20. T20 Makram.
angeke wamini.
T20 Makram.
uMakram udlala yonke into mfethu.
T20
uMakram udlala
Makram.
yonke into. Yonke
Yeah,
into uMakram mfethu man.
Makram in T20 is lethal.
yeah.
He's
Nah,
lethal, chief. And I think that's why he fails at test level. For me, I also thought Makram would dominate better at test cricket. But
yeah, same.
Makram is not a patient opener. he plays very similar to Quinny. Quinny's see ball, hit ball. Makram, even if he doesn't see the ball, he hits it, and that's T20 cricket. You
He
understand?
edges it. He edges it. He edges it too much.
T20,
Aiden Makram.
T20.
And
No,
and
Ras.
Aiden Manje is getting bold.
Aye.
But Aiden Manje, Aiden, see a mark of a batsman not in form. Ne? You're getting bold. You're getting hit on the pads, and you're edgy.
Yeah.
Njalo phuma kanjalo wena. Njalo phuma kanjalo. It's not like ukuthi uyasloga Aiden Makram and is being caught by someone on the boundary. He's edging. He's getting hit on his pads. So he's probably yakhe ileyo mba. And yes, we
Is that
can
not
when I
how
say
Quinny
his
gets
form yakhe
bowled?
is a bit
Is
different.
that not how? Is that not how Quinny gets out in
But
T20 cricket?
but now about Queen now was released a bit about Queen. Now they're part of that era that we're expecting so much from Quinton de
Yeah.
Kock.
Yeah.
Vegas guys retire, guys do well all of a sudden. And you know
Yeah.
what happens after a while.
Quinny has problems, but none of us here would drop Quinton. None of
Yeah.
us here.
Oh no, of course.
And of course.
None of us here
Expect.
would drop Quinton. And that's my point,
Expect.
because Quinton plays the type of cricket, and that's why he's a marquee player in the IPL. You understand? Because Quinny plays the type of cricket where he's not scared. Whether you're a Tim Saudi and you're going to swing left, right, or you're Trent Bolt, he's going to smash you out the park.
Yeah,
And he's
no,
not the
definitely. If you
strongest
get
of
to
guys
learn
either. He's just got
timing.
technique and the eye for the ball. And Makram, the only problem I have with Makram is when it comes to Test cricket, he tries too much to play it like it's an ODI game or a T20 game. He's not patient enough with the ball, and that's how Rassi also struggles. Rassi doesn't have timing of when to leave the ball. If you remember against India, when Bumrah bowled him, guys, I said, Chief, you could see Bumrah was swinging the ball left, right, and center. You can't leave every single ball unless it's very wide, So
Maybe
for me, I think we can definitely win the next World Cup. Rassi's average in
So
ODIs is 73.
so Wafetu, why is Riza not getting a run in the Protea squad anyway?
Yeah.
Very interesting question.
What's stopping Riza from playing in the squad?
Yeah, you
know,
go.
I just wanted to add some commentary on Quinton. I hear Quinton's favorite shot is the sweep because he's always on his knee,
Yeah.
So anyway, no. To be serious, I think one of the things I wanted to actually point out, which follows on to your question, why isn't Riza getting a chance, is we are sort of in a rebuilding phase, which has a lot of talent that's sitting on the sidelines. And we've got genuine complaints about certain people who are not being given a chance. So Riza had his chance. Maybe when you look at the kind of structure now, because Riza was in that like building phase, which was very poor. It didn't have like anything going. We've sort of like come out of that slump where out of expecting nothing, we are now almost, saying at least a draw, at least a win against India. So I think that's one of the things for Riza is sometimes when you play during a period where things are really not going well for everyone, you become, and the unfortunate thing at the moment is we've got Keegan coming in scoring runs. We've got Ervir scoring runs. He scored a century. We've got Kyle Verreynne taking over the gloves, and he's now scoring a century. So I think if you don't have that kind of impact in any team, I suppose, losing team or winning team or at the moment, then it becomes hard. But I enjoy the fact that you can play a test now and you can play Dwayne Olivier, you can play Lutos Pamla, you can play Lungi Gidi, you can play Kagiso Rabada, you can play Andrik Nokia, he isn't even there. You can play Janssen as a So we are sort of in that phase where we've got a lot of new people who are fighting for places, and some people are securing their actual places in the team because at the moment Janssen was like a brilliant. He's constantly taking 4 far. a three, and things. So it's very difficult at the moment, even on the other side, So we know people are secured. Like we know Elga secured. We know Keegan, when he comes back, is now secure there. We know Timber is secure. So for you to fit in the team is getting harder and harder. I think it's a very good place for us to like be in at the moment. As long
Why
as
is Lutos
everyone
Pamela
who's
in the team?
yeah, like as long as someone who comes in there does their job,
Yeah.
it becomes harder for other newer people to come in.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but Aiden isn't doing his job,
Exactly. But
Yeah.
but you
and
know
we
what,
need
Sithe?
and Aiden is so relaxed. Like he knows Uti, even if he plays Ganjan, he's gonna play.
Yeah.
No,
He
and we
knows Uti
discussed this,
is
I think,
guaranteed.
in the last episode where we said, "Oh, Aiden is being groomed as the next captain." We can all
Yeah,
see that. That's the
yeah,
first thing,
yeah,
right? He's being
yeah.
groomed to take over the captaincy, and they probably deem him the next Graham Smith, right? And you can see his leadership qualities. He's vocal on the pitch. That I won't put past him,
Mm.
right? But his lack of
Oh,
performance, my brother. And oh, Aiden, what makes me angry is that yeah, instead of him getting dropped, they push him down the batting order. And this
Yeah.
frustrates me the most because Temba got dropped. I think it was 2, 3 years ago, and he had
Yeah.
to score 180 in the domestic cup in order to come back into the squad. Which for me, then, this is what CSA is questioned about around, are there racial implications? What's happening? Because
Mhm.
Temba is a performer. Temba has the highest average in Test cricket in our Test series over the last, I don't know how many games. Oh, in 2021, actually, full year 2021, Temba has the highest average amongst all the Proteas. He doesn't have a century, yes, but he's got those 40s, the 50s, the 73 against Sri Lanka when he wasn't out. This, that, the other. But Uriza Hendricks, for me, yeah, no, man. I think we've given him enough opportunities, honestly. I think, he's been in the Proteas setup, especially in T20 format for a while. But I don't miss him when he's not there, me personally. He's not that player. He's not a KG where when he's not there, you can feel it. It doesn't matter the format of the game. You can see that he's the missing piece. But someone like Lutos Pamla, now for me, I don't see what he brings. Personally, I don't feel him. I can face Lutos Pamla.
Ah,
Okay, what did
but
what
it,
okay what
but
did he
what are the
contribute
chances
to
of
the
a club?
series? What did he contribute?
he had a wicket, bro.
Luton.
He's the one
Oh,
who got rid
okay,
of Conway.
The
That's
okay,
a big
sharp.
wicket,
Oh,
the
sharp.
thing
wasn't
that
it?
I
What else?
the thing
Yeah.
that I remember about Ulutos Pamela is our greatest and most entertaining batsman, AB de Villiers, personally recommended Ulutos Pamela and said, "Watch out for this boy." So I know that he didn't get anything really right when he like played. But I mean, if AB sees something in him, like, and that's the thing. It's the same thing when I was speaking about Aiden, right? Sometimes in at the highest level of the game, like we said even last week, all you need is to be given chances. So agreed, he didn't shine like Janssen did, right? You come in, you take wickets, you whatever. There and then Lungin Gidi when
Simple.
he came in, take 2 wickets. Every new
Because
bowler who's
we move.
introduced recently is like hitting the mark at the moment. So it's unfortunate that he isn't hitting the mark. And I even heard the commentary saying Oluto is an easier bowler to face because he's pitching it a bit up,
Exactly.
um, a bit full, so you can always drive him. So unfortunately, yeah, he just needs to find his rhythm and length. And all the other bowlers, I suppose, had like proper chances to shine at home. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Angas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Steerman or Spamla, who would you play?
Ano Steerman yapeta mfethu mulise down.
Hayi bonke
Aye.
bonke abaphume sifuna
Yeah.
ungidi
Yeah.
ayibuyile ungidi
Yeah,
baba
Ngidi, yeah.
abaphume bonke la bantwana.
Yeah,
Yeah, but Steerman,
you know,
dude, Steerman, dude is also he's a suspect.
but Steerman was better than
Abaphume.
Spamla, in my opinion. He's better than because
In the last
Abaphume.
game, what did
our, our,
Steerman do, bro?
our
What did
ideal
he?
for me, our ideal test bowlers should be UKG without a doubt leading it.
Yeah.
Heinrich Nokia without a doubt. Unkidi, without a doubt. That guy, I don't know, he's not the quickest of bowlers, but yeah, no, he's clinical. He's a CR7,
Yeah, he bowls
like
that.
for some
He
reason.
bowls that heavy ball like a Jacques Callis. Remember that Jacques Callis heavy ball that batsmen used to complain about. That's
Yeah,
Ngidi.
yeah. And then you'd have a Janssen, and then you have Maharaj there as a sort of all-rounder
Yeah.
night's watchman. Then we can have the batsman without Makram. I'm happy.
And
Yeah,
then
no, Makram.
yeah,
And I mean, I'm also still shocked, Guti. You guys are so calm, Guti. We're going to carry Aiden Makram while he's being groomed to be one of the best Test captains ever. No, compare no beef. Imagine Graham Smith, Baba. Yes, this guy has a long way to work to get to Graham Smith's level. And then now we have to carry this guy from now until whenever, until I be ready. Ah, my feet. I think
But
we need to think about
but
getting
you know, it's
Makram.
this whole thing that he won the under-19 World Cup, and that
Ah,
at the time when he won it, his leadership quality. I mean, this guy had a queen, but guys, Quinton de Kock when he's on form.
hey, this guy had Rabada was in the team. Nami
Chief.
bengmele nami benga winner. Nami pe who captain nama Proteas da benzo winner le under 19.
now Bala
But have you seen?
And
Have you
then
seen?
and then
Have you?
was on group nam.
Have you seen those under-19 Indian spin bowlers, Chief? You. And we don't have a lot of talent when it comes to spin here. So we don't know how to play spin. You understand? So at the
Ah,
19
but we're
level,
fast,
if you can beat, yeah, but we have a Quinton. Quinton's not scared of anything. You
Yeah.
can be
No,
me, the
definitely,
one
definitely.
bowler that I was scared of my whole life, that I feel like even in the net I'd run, was Monet Mocha, because he was tall and fast. Quinton
Yeah.
doesn't care whether you're a Jameson 6, out, gone.
yeah, guys. And then another question. I think this is the last one. Does this victory strengthen Mark Boucher's position as coach? Yeah, I had to be political. I had to have one political question. Yeah, I had to.
No.
What?
I still think
Out of
he's
respect.
trying too many things. He's
Yeah,
trying too many combinations, and I don't know, maybe his strategy which he's trying to find players of the right players, but
yeah.
the only person who's consistently in this team doing and playing is Mpinche to the Kulmangai, who we're not gonna mention his name. But everyone else seems very dispensable. Like Ongumundu in the team can drop. Obviously, no Wavuma is someone else who's going to be in there. Nabo Rasi, of course, Nabo Rabado in the fit. But I still think he's trying to find his best side. And on the day, which was two spectacular centuries from our batsmen, an incredible bowling performance from Rabada and assistance from the other bowlers, Abu Jansen. But I mean, I still think Kuti I mean, for me, he's not the one as yet. I don't feel confident yet.
Yeah. Modise. Hey.
You know how I feel about Mark, Chief. And for me, I still feel like the captains carry the team, Chief. Like, for me, I'm still fully convinced that
Yeah,
Mark puts a lot of pressure on the captains to perform more than he does. Like, I don't see the impact he has on the game. And, I think, someone like Dean takes the risk with regards to he brings in or who he brings out. Dean's always the one saying that I had a difficult conversation with KG. He performed against India. I had a difficult conversation with Makram. He went and scored 40 against New Zealand. Dean's always the one coming out and saying, look, I had to put my foot down and tell him, Chief, come on, you're playing for the national team. I don't know why he doesn't shout at himself also. But,
Mm.
like
Mudise,
for me, Mark,
Mudise,
yeah,
Mudise,
yeah.
Mudise. So you came again and you're saying you're happy that Markham scored a 40. Like you're saying that they
But
spoke
what
to
I'm
him and he
saying
scored a
is,
40.
I
Everyone
was
else
no,
you
no,
spoke about they did really
Chief,
well. And then he's like they
from
spoke to Markham and he scored a
from
40.
no, Makram scored a 40 after scoring nothing for us.
Yeah,
240,
he's giving us nothing, this
and,
guy.
and for me, Makram, I'll drop it. Right now, we drop Makram. Finish. End of story. We drop him.
Yes.
End of story. There's no negotiating. But it's either between. And my next point was going to be, which I mentioned as well the last time, that we should drop Elga also. Drop Makram, drop Elba, not drop Elga, give Temba the run. Let's see what Temba can deliver on the test pitch. Let's see, as a
Yes.
captain, let's see who he can bring in, what he can do, I mean, Temba's performing in ODIs, he's performing in
Yeah.
T20s, and I still believe he should be the all-round captain. For me, Mark Boucher at the moment, he's bringing nothing to us. If he was a true leader, he would have stayed behind, considering all the controversy, behind his name, just to motivate the boys to play with limited publicity pressure, if I should call it that. So, me, Umar guy, is giving us nothing. The captains do all the work.
Damn. And Sam, do you concur?
Yeah, yeah. It, it, yeah, it's a tough one for me because as a fan of sports, I always believe like we always exist at these two extremes, and the two extremes are after a few games like losing or like this is the worst guy ever. After a few games winning, you're like maybe there's something here. We are building something. Arteta in, type of stuff. So
Mhm.
it's very difficult for me because we're speaking about who is the right person to lead the team. Again, I go back to a football thing. Roman is selling Chelsea now. If
Yeah.
you look at the actual person and the actual person's acts, right, we are not for his acts from a human point of view. So the kind of history of our country has to be put into context here. If Mark is facing a racism allegation, I think it's so important in the context of the history of the country to say he may not be the right person to be leading the team. But you literally just flip a coin and you look at the other side and you listen to Temba himself as well. And you like listen to Dean speaking about Mark. And it seems like he has something that he is trying out there. There's so much talent in SA. So the actual job of a coach may not be that hard because our talent shines through all the time. Like you were saying, our players shine through and everything, but the actual coach's job at the moment is very difficult for me because like I said, like I'm a fan, right? I exist at two extremes myself. So sometimes I look at what's happening on the actual pitch and I can justify a reason for a manager to be there. The same way that sometimes you look at the performance that's like beating New Zealand in New Zealand, who are the world test champions, by 198 runs isn't a small feat, right? So I don't care if it's Dean leading the team or if it's Temba leading the team. There must be something that Mark is doing which is right. But at the same time, that's why I say good things happen to bad people. So this is unfortunate that maybe on the human side of it, we obviously don't agree with anything that Mark stands for or what he stood for. And that's what I'm saying. We need to respect the history of the country and say, as an actual black person, Mark and these racism allegations against him. And anyway, the performance of the team before this has been very, very poor. But you're like, is he now building something as a coach? If you take the emotion away, I don't know.
Mm. No doubt, no doubt. If you don't
Aye,
add
Temba.
any
That was
close.
a diplomatic answer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, bro.
That was a diplomatic answer. Chief,
Yeah,
he
you
doesn't
don't
have
have.
the badges. He doesn't have the badges, right? We can say he performed, yes, at the Titans, this, that, the other. For me, I still go back. Jeffrey Toyana also performed. Jeffrey Toyana still performing now with the Titans. Why are we not giving the right people who have the right badges, the right qualifications, an opportunity to run the team and let's see what they can really deliver? I mean, it's like Oralf, and I'm sorry to go to United, right?
Ish,
But
yeah.
Oralf is not losing, but he's playing bad football. Doesn't mean he's a good chief. So now he must stay. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. It's like Ole. He lost what 7 games, but he came second. He qualified for Champions League. All these things, right? But it didn't mean that he's a good coach, Chief. A good coach is Tuchel, even when he loses, but you can see the gameplay that they're playing on the pitch. So it goes back to the Proteas. Just because we beat India, India isn't a bad test squad, Chief. It isn't a bad test squad, but you can see the impact that someone like Ukoli has. But at the same time, you can see the contribution that a coach can make. The current coach of Dravid is doing nothing for India as well. So, for me, Chief, Mark Boucher, we must see the impact he has. He needs to bring in the right players, and he needs to be consistent. Why is he scared to drop Makram? Why is he scared to drop Putin Alga?
Yes, yeah. I know, guys. Just one more. I know we're playing Bangladesh. Sam, Super Sport Park, apparently it's sold out. Did you get the tickets, bro? Because I know when you live around the corner to Super Sport Park.
Yeah, and I didn't get the ticket. So if you're telling me that it's sold out, I'm so hacked. But yeah, I'll find a way. I'll find a way.
Please hook us up, dog. Please think of
Yeah,
us, my
please,
team.
Yo,
You know, if it's like, yo, I missed the stadium, guys. I don't know about you guys. Like even PSL. If it's like it
I could have also derby this weekend. There's also derby this weekend.
And
Manchester,
cut those fingers off. I will cut those fingers off. Yes.
Let's go back here, pool. That's lazy.
Gush go to go on chat 3-1. You can see.
The show open that podcast. Girl, must come.
Pirates can't score an open goal. Amapala vulekile. Pirates is on shot.
We want
Shah 16. Shah 16.
Oh, no share my plama. Nina one Nina.
Oh my God.
Royal Leopard. They consider 2 goals in how many minutes? Royal Leopard. It's on shot 3-1. Billiard 1, Dolly 1. Lenkomu yethu Norkovic uzokora against Pirates.
So good.
I will wait to see.
So good.
I don't. Jets, thank you so much, ne. Thank you so much for another dope episode. Hopefully, Sam can get us the tickets, ne. You wanna put
put us on.
The pressure.
Bangladesh is shy.
I'm not even fearful. I'm not fearful.
We're gonna go to number 3 now.
Yeah. I know, gents. Take care. Peace up.
Peace, gents.
Chomachita.